Hello and welcome to another show of Voice It with Karishma. Today we have a very essential and very special guest with us. We have Zarine Bharda with us. She is an essential oil educator. She is a holistic health coach, and she is also somebody who has a very strong passion to help women in different aspects of their hormonal health, their emotional health, and their wellness. She's also started her own company. She's the founder of The Belly and Beyond. So a lot of things on the platter with Zarine, and she's here today to talk about a very special topic. We're going to be speaking about how essential oils impact our emotional health. She's an expert in this field, and she feels that so many people need to know how this benefits women and everybody else in the kind of spheres that they want to maybe take stress off their mind, maybe unwind, get better sleep, have better health, more, inner peace. So she's gonna explain lots of fun things to us today. So Zarine, thank you for being a part of this conversation. I'm very happy that you're on board. Thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great. So Zarine, I know you get this a lot, but can you explain to us how through your work and through all the people that you meet and also the kind of people that you have helped, how does our emotional wellness impact our overall body and our mental state as well? Can you explain how that plays a role?
Yeah, well, I guess there are a few different things. So when we look at our mental health and our wellness, there are so many different aspects that it can take a part of in our lives. So for example, if you don't get enough sleep, the next day your mood is affected, the way you eat is going to be affected. Or alternatively, if you use like the term hangry, where you're hungry and your mood is also affected where you're angry. So that's things that everyone can relate to, where they're day-to-day things that affect us for our mental wellness.
Yes.
So our mental wellness is not just people that may be experiencing depression or anxiety. Mental wellness goes much further beyond that, where it's something that impacts everyone on a day-to-day basis, whether it be your immunity, your sleep, your digestion, your well-being, as well as another aspect of mental wellness is one of the topics that we had talked about through one of the retreats that we had done earlier was peer pressure. And that's something that younger children as well as adults are now facing, especially with the pandemic and everything that's going on around us, is something that's affecting us in the world and that has always been there. And people don't always relate the two together, but it's something that affects everyone at all ages.
Yes.
So that's just kind of the basics of how it can affect every part of your body.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. When you mention things like how it correlates together, often when I do my consultations with clients also, I always educate them. I always talk to them about this very essential thing where, our gut, the entire digestive system, it's our second brain. We have neurotransmitters which are connected to our gut, which then communicate to our higher neurotransmitters in the mind, right? So it's the second mind. Can you explain to us about this beautiful mind gut connection, and how is it that it plays out with everything that you do as well?
Yeah. So I guess if you think of an aroma, so when you breathe in something, whether it's flowers or whether you're cooking and you're breathing in an aroma, it is affecting your whole digestive system. So your digestive system has 9 different organs in it. So 3 are hollow, or 3 are solid, and the rest are hollow. So that's where you think about it with your nose, and then as you start digesting. But your digestive system actually begins with your brain. So as you mentioned, like the gut-brain connection, it's so important for people to realize that the mood that they're in when they're sitting down to eating, the atmosphere that they're experiencing while they're eating affects how they're actually digesting and absorbing the nutrients in their body. So that way, like if people take note, okay, I was in a stressful situation or I had a hard conversation at the dinner table, okay, maybe my stomach was a little bit gassy or was upset after dinner. Whereas if you were in a better mood, or if you sat down, set a couple intentions before your dinner, maybe breathed in some of the essential oils, that's where you're automatically preparing your body and your mind to be able to be better absorbing the nutrients that you need to. So that's where it's so interrelated, where you have to be very mindful of the mood that you're in when you're actually eating, because that can take impact on how you're digesting. So for example, when people have irritable bowel syndrome or gut disorders, those are typically related very closely with the mind or emotional trauma that they may not always understand, but that is a big part of it. And that's kind of where it's very interconnected in that way.
Absolutely, I understand. And Zarine, you know, now that you have mentioned how this impacts, right? The aroma, the oils, all these things, and the way that they correspond with every single action that we then do. Can you let's begin with you explaining to us what exactly are essential oils? What is it that so people have more clarity about the fact that when they want to choose something, what is it that they should go for? Please explain essential oils to us.
Yeah. So essential oils are your roots, your stems, your barks, your trees, anything that comes from nature that is able to be extracted. So there are different ways of extraction, but you want to make sure you're using something that's as pure and close to the source. So when you're using something to support your health, you want to make sure it is actually 100% beneficial towards your health. So it has its therapeutic value. So when you are looking at different essential oils, there isn't any regulated market out there. So anyone can market a bottle and say, okay, this is 100% pure, and it can only actually contain maybe 5% of the essential oil in it, and the rest be diluted or adulterated. And that's where you'll hear about people don't like lavender because they've never really smelt a true lavender essential oil because they either get headaches from it or they're using other products that are adulterated. So I always recommend make sure you find an oil that isn't adulterated, that it has third-party testing done with it, so that way you know that it's actually true and that it's very transparent. So that's the only thing with that, because when you are breathing something in, you want to make sure that it isn't toxic to your system, especially when you're using it to support your health. The second way is when you're using something topically. So your skin is your largest organ, where when you are applying something onto your skin, you want to make sure that it's actually absorbing into your skin, because it's going to come into your bloodstream because of the fact that it gets absorbed in that way. And you want to make sure, again, it's 100% pure and it has a therapeutic value. Then in addition, there are some essential oils that you're actually able to ingest. So ones that you're able to take internally to be able to support your gut, your digestion, depending on what you're looking for. And that's another thing where you want to make sure that if you are ingesting something, it better be pure. Otherwise, it's going to be toxic to your body. So that's where one of the brands that I highly recommend is doTERRA with their essential oils, because they always have testing where, for example, if you look at the bottom of a bottle, it actually has a code where you can go to the website called Source2 to actually see what the testing is that they run through it to make sure that it isn't adulterated, that it doesn't have any additives or fillers. And also always read the ingredients, like how we should be doing with food and nutrition. We always want to read the ingredients on a label. If you see any funny names on it, if you see that it has coconut oil or if it has jojoba oil or any other carrier oils, you automatically know that it's already diluted. So you're not getting the pure oil on its own.
Yes.
And that's okay if it's diluted, but you just want to make sure that what you're buying is what you're expecting.
Absolutely. I agree. On the note of, when you mentioned something that, a lot of people don't know the true smell or the true fragrance of something like lavender. On that note, I've also realized that so many people are so sensitive to, fragrances. They have a special, the way that we have skin sensitivity. They have a sensitivity towards certain kinds of aromas. And, if you end up, getting something or using something which is more artificial, which would have other chemicals, it also affects us in a negative way as far as our health is concerned, because I've seen women have breakouts, women have hormonal reactions when they do end up consuming or rubbing it on their body, internally consuming it. It could be a product. It changes their hormonal profiles. So I've also seen this happen not only with, the usage of something that you smell, but also the kind of essential oils that they would usually use in products which they would use on their skin. So this is something which is, I personally experienced this, and I think it's so true. So Zarine, can you tell us some of the, some of the important essential oils which help the mind and the gut for anybody who has, a pattern of emotional eating, stress eating, or probably, a lot of girls also have stronger emotional reactions towards their menstrual cycle, right? So,
Yeah.
something, the kind of essential oils, the fragrances, the aromas, which would help them ease all these things out.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of go back a little bit, you mentioned some of the side effects. Like I know even with some of the perfumes, like if I don't wear perfume anymore, where I'll just use some of the essential oils, but I know like if I'm around someone that wears a lot of it, I'll get a sore throat.
Yeah.
And it's like once you start detoxing your life, you'll start noticing other chemicals and the reactions.
Yes, I've been there, done that. I absolutely relate. Yes, you're right. Yes.
And that's where it's also a lot of girls and young women are also facing like PCOS and PCOD.
Mhm.
And that's because of like either packaged foods, all the products, like when you think about skincare products, there's so many xenoestrogens that are there, which are the bad estrogen that's being attached and attacking onto their estrogen levels and basically overtaking their body and stuff. And that's kind of where you need to be mindful of everything when it's not just one area of your life where someone might be eating really clean, but they might be using toxic makeup for them. And that's something that women typically wear every day. So there are always different areas of your lives that you need to kind of start small in one area and then just kind of be mindful and kind of focus on all of them eventually. But that's where essential oils, where breathing things in is a big impact, because there's certain areas like environmental pollutions that we can't always help. And that will also affect our hormones. But when it comes to perfumes and other chemicals that we can stop breathing in, that's something that we can directly control ourselves. So some of the, like, I guess the first essential oil for women for hormones, I would probably recommend clary sage.
Okay.
This is a great one also postpartum, where it is able to help support the balance of the hormones and kind of help with the mood as well too. And that's where doTERRA has a blend called Clary Calm, where the main ingredient in it is clary sage, but it also has other oils in it. And that one is great for menstrual cramps, where you can roll it across your abdomen. But that's kind of where essential oils have such a beautiful benefit, where you can use it for cramps, but also if you're facing any menopause issues with hot flashes, you can still use the same oil, just either applying it topically, like on your temples or the back of your neck or on your wrists, and still getting the same effect. So that's where everyone is different, where different oils will affect them differently, but the same oil can be used for so many different ailments and support their health in that aspect. So I would say clary sage is probably one of my favorite ones. Lavender oil is I would say is overrated and underrated. Overrated because everyone has it, but it's underrated because not many have actually received the true therapeutic benefits of it, where when you open up a bottle of lavender oil, it can help support, like if you're having anxiety or panic attacks, just opening it up and just breathing it in and just taking those few deep breaths, automatically that helps you start balancing your emotional well-being. And that's kind of where breath work is a very integral part, where what I recommend is with your essential oils, just add a drop into the palm of your hand, rub your hands together, and then just hold it in front of your nose and your mouth and just take a few deep breaths, where automatically you'll realize that your heartbeat starts slowing down, you start becoming more in control of your breath and your body and your mind. And that's how it's all integrated. So that's probably the next one. A few other ones, there's an adaptive blend. So this is like another one, which is specifically for mental wellness. And that one has wild orange, lavender, copaiba, peppermint, spearmint, magnolia, rosemary. And that has quite a beautiful blend of all the different oils that can be calming and soothing. And that's where, when it comes to moods, everyone has their different oils that they love. Like some people love citruses, some people love florals. Whereas when you smell an orange or a lemon, automatically it boosts your mood for most people. Or it awakens you and invigorates you. And that's kind of where you can mix and match what you love and what kind of lifts your mood based off of childhood memories or new memories that you'd like to make, and integrate it all together.
Yes, on the note of memories, I did realize that you know I personally experienced this, that there are certain fragrances which take you back in time. Where you've grown up probably being surrounded by a particular kind of a fragrance. It could be something as simple as a particular brand of talcum powder which your mother uses, right? And it could be something like a simple aftershave that your father used to use, or it could be that little one candy which your brother always got you and had a particular smell to it. So I think also with fragrances, with aromas, with essential oils, I feel this is what it does to you. The beautiful thing that you mentioned right now, it takes you back to certain good memories as well, and along with that it puts you in a state of mind where you are more calmer, and you're probably in a better in a better state of mind to be able to absorb and make new memories. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, is there any particular kind of people or any particular group of people only, or how does this work? How do people understand what is the kind of essential oil that would benefit them the most?
So you can use essential oils pretty much, I would say, from birth up until elderly. So just making sure you're diluting the oils in the correct ratios. However, from birth, for the first couple months, the baby needs to bond with the mother's smell as much as possible, so only as needed. And then later on, like, you can use it to support your family's health, and it can be completely as a whole. So that's where just dilute it into different ratios, depending for younger children, and then for adults, and then for senior citizens, because again, senior citizens have a little bit more sensitive skin. So you just want to be mindful. And then if you feel that someone might have an allergy to it, or they might be sensitive to a specific plant, and then, for example, like ylang ylang, some people have sensitivities to that. So with that, what they can do is they can always do like a test patch, either in their elbow or behind their ear, and just monitor it to see first, and then they can always dilute it further. The other thing is also with autoimmune issues. You don't want to be using essential oils that are there to boost your immune system. You want to be using essential oils that will be kind of neutral, that will then still support your immune system, but not in the same way as it would for a normal person. So that's kind of where having that first consultation to first say, okay, which oils are best suited for me? And then that person knows their own body the best. So they would be the best one to also say, okay, this is what's working for me. No, I need to change this. And they would be able to tell us as well too.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's really nice. It's like a personalized approach with everything that we do. I mean, like, this
Yes.
has to be a very personalized thing, because as you mentioned, and I've also noticed this, that everybody has a different threshold for tolerating aroma, and different fragrances can trigger different things within people. So that's beautiful. For it to be personalized is a fantastic thing. Also,
Yeah.
Zarine, so I noticed this. I noticed this a few years ago about myself, and I think I want to speak about this as an example. I personally love the whole mint, peppermint, spearmint family of essential oils and aromas. Like, every single time that I would be tired, or if I just wanted to wind down, I would always move towards something which was in the mint family. And what I realized was that I started using this in my food. I started using a lot of peppermint essential oil in my food, because the personal flavor profile also, which I said I like, is mint a lot. you know and surprisingly, how this is how beautifully things, you being a holistic health coach also, I think you relate to this so easily, is because my body type is a pitta. I am an Ayurvedic educator as well, so my body type is a pitta, and for me, organically, I'm supposed to be having cooling foods all the time. So it works in such a
Yeah.
beautiful way, where I was anyways inching towards things which were more cooling and minty. So I realized a way of incorporating this was that I incorporated my pure peppermint essential oils into the kind of food that I was eating. I would probably mix it into, a little bit of chocolate, a dark chocolate, because I would like that. I like the whole combination of chocolate and peppermint. So, is there a way to consume the different kinds of essential oils? If you could just throw some light on how people can use different oils in different ways to help them.
Yeah. So I guess the first thing is like in food. So either in your teas, where typically water and oil don't mix. However, if you're warming up like a cup of warm water, you'll see that the oil will start to dissipate, but you can always add in the oil into like a little bit of sugar, like a coconut sugar, or a little bit of salt. And then that way it dissolves in that structure first, and then it gets emulsified properly throughout the whole cup. And then smoothies are a great way. Smoothie bowls are a great way to incorporate in your essential oils. And there's so many essential oils. So there's like, so yeah, again, depending on your dosha as well, like follow according to that, because you don't want things that are going to be generating too much heat in you. So there's always like your clove oils, your cinnamon oils. Those are all warming oils.
Yes.
Your grapefruit is great for detoxing. Cardamom, black pepper, turmeric. And that's where turmeric is one where everyone in India says, okay, but I already put in turmeric into my food. So why do I need the essential oil? Yeah. And I always say that when you add in the oil with the powder, you're basically making that curcumin 11 times more bioavailable into your body, and it comes back to absorption and actually being beneficial for the body. So smoothies, I love like mango turmeric and chili. That's like one of my favorite smoothies.
Wow,
and then
nice combination.
It is good. And then like and then with like lime in it as well. Otherwise, like salsas, like if you're chopping up like tomatoes, avocado, like guacamole, salad dressings, you can add in essential oils into your salad dressings to support it that way. So like your wild oranges, your lime, your lemon, all of your citruses, and then your digestion ones. So like your fennel, marjoram, rosemary, all of those ones. So depending on whether you're looking for something more sweet or savory, there's so many different options. And I always recommend, like, Pinterest has so many amazing recipes that you can find on there. Otherwise, like, DM us, we'll be more than happy to share recipes as well too. So yeah.
Yes. And what about applying the essential oils? Any particular, method of applying essential oils if you would just like to use them on your body? If you can help us with, how it is that you can use them.
Yeah, so I always recommend diluting the essential oil. So one of the things that I love to use is a fractionated coconut oil. And with fractionated coconut oil, it doesn't have an aroma to it. So that way you're getting the most aromatic benefit of the essential oil as well. And you can use any fractionated coconut oil. So depending on your skin, you can use like an olive oil, you can use sesame seed oil, you can use so many different types depending on what your skin type is as well. So you want to follow what your skin type is, use that as a carrier oil. And if it is one that you're using for the therapeutic benefit, but you don't like the smell of it as much, the bottom of your feet is an amazing place to start because your pores are the largest on your feet. So it will get readily absorbed in. And I've had clients that will say, okay, we can taste the essential oil in our mouth after they've applied it on their feet. And that's when how you know it's like so impactful. So yeah, go home tonight and try the peppermint on your feet, and I'm sure you'll taste it in your mouth.
On that note, I am going to do it tonight. I would do that. Why not? I'm going to try it out tonight. Thank you. Yeah. This has been so informative. Thank you for, coming on Voice It. Thank you for sharing so much information, so much knowledge of the kind of work that you do. I wish you more power, and I hope that everybody who listens to this, they understand that, they could make essential oils a part of their daily life to kind of help with their, I call it emotional maintenance. So I hope that, it helps them with their emotional maintenance and also the whole body, mind, and gut access. So thank you, Zarine, once again. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope everybody who listens to this also understands what you tried to say and tries to use some of the essential oils. And if they would like more information, they could definitely get in touch with you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure.
Great. Thank you.